Apple has taken a bite out of the poisoned fruit and is asleep, and unless something changes, soon it will wake up to realize that its competitors have dominated market areas that Apple should have dominated because of its core design strength and huge cash war chest. In a Wired article, I'll leave a reference in the link in the description below. The writer said Apple is a company on the verge of being disrupted, and the next great idea in tech and consumer electronics will not materialize from the walls of its Cupertino spaceship. Oh, how I missed Steve Jobs. During the week, Apple released the latest version of the iPhone. The iPhone has been the jewel in the crown for Apple for the past 15 years. And although over the years, Apple has been innovative about maximizing the income stream through locking out competitors and building a whole ecosystem around the iPhone through its App Store, it's now offering competitive finance on all its hardware products. As such, it is able to raise the prices of the iPhone, but at the same time offer 0% finance, which makes the iPhone an attractive proposition. But the question is, how long can the iPhone continue to rely on raising prices and at the same time offer very low finance options? There has to be a point where the disruptor becomes the disrupted, and Apple has not been disrupted for the last 15 years. Also, there has to be a point where the consumer would realize that the cost of owning an iPhone does not justify the novelty, and especially where income growth does not match the current inflation rates. Many would hang on to their phones as long as possible or move over to a new disruptive competitor who would make migrating all your apps happen seamlessly. The question is, how does Apple bring a whole new range of products that are connected, which the consumer never knew that they needed? Apple, because of its size, is very limited in the types of acquisitions that it can make and is becoming very vulnerable to becoming a disrupted company. It has a huge amount of cash flow that it can use to open up new markets and opportunities, but it is not doing a lot of that now. Even if it is not of a significant impact. Apple once had a chance to buy Tesla when it was almost about to go out of business, but turned the business opportunity down. Probably the greatest business opportunity that it turned down. Now, Apple is trying to find a place in the EV market. With over 200 billion of free cash flow, you would think that Apple would be entrenched in throwing money into R&D, finding and defining new products that can radically change the way we live our lives or how various industries operate. No company needs 100 billion in free cash flow. It is just too much cash sitting around doing nothing, let alone 200 billion. Nothing Apple is doing at the moment is disruptive, and it is drinking the iPhone Kool-Aid, hoping the product will continue to be the cash cow that it is. I am an Apple investor, although it makes up a very small part of my portfolio. I do not think it has the growth potential of some of the other companies in my portfolio, but only time will tell. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now let's look at how this portfolio performed over the last week. So this month so far, this portfolio has gained 3.77%. The risk score on this portfolio hasn't changed and still remains at 7, as it has been for the last 4 months. 5 out of the 10 assets in this portfolio are net positive and 5 are in the red. The size of the portfolio hasn't changed, and the loss on this portfolio has decreased, which we would see later on the portfolio dashboard that is coming up. Taking a quick look at the portfolio dashboard, we can see that there has been an improvement from last week. The market has turned around from the previous 3 week consecutive losses that it made. As a result, 5 of the assets in this portfolio, namely Unity Software, Tesla, Rivian, CrowdStrike, and Apple, are all in the positive or green territory, while the remaining 5 remain in the red territory. So we'll see what the week ahead brings. Looking at the overall portfolio performance, we can see that the total portfolio allocated size hasn't changed from the previous week. The loss on this portfolio has reduced from 6,300 to about 4,500, reflecting an upturn in the market, and the total equity has increased from 29,000 to 31,000, and the overall loss on this portfolio is up from 17%, is up from 17.71% to 12.61%. In terms of the performance against the S&P 500, the portfolio has outperformed the S&P 500 by 4.38%. So the portfolio performance from the previous week, this portfolio has gained $1,814. So if you take a look, the weekly portfolio performance, you can see here that we have the uptick in the portfolio reflecting a positive week. So now let's take a look at the portfolio performance against the S&P 500. Over the past week, the S&P 500 is up 1.82%, and the portfolio is up 6.20%, thereby outperforming the S&P 500 by 4.38%. Over the last month, the S&P 500 is down 3.39%, and this portfolio is down 4.26%, thereby underperforming the S&P 500 by 0.87%. Year to date, the S&P 500 is down 15.20%, while this portfolio has performed and is up 12.87%, thereby outperforming the S&P 500 by 28.07%. Remember, this portfolio is an experimental portfolio. It's not meant to be copied. If you need any data regarding the performance of this portfolio for the past 13 weeks, just drop me a line and I would endeavor to get that information to you. To make this project successful, I need your support. So if you can support me by hitting the subscribe button and also clicking on the like button. I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported this channel so far. There has been significant interest in the videos, and I'm just hoping that I'm putting out quality material out there for you to be able to digest and to enable you think from a contrarian point of view on how investments can be made. So I'm hoping that this portfolio is a typical example of that, and you'll be able to take some lessons away to help you in how your portfolio performs or how you want your own portfolio to be set up. So take care, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.